Alright, what's up guys? Welcome back to a new video on East Coast Manga. So today we're going to be talking about Prison School. This is an interesting manga. I either got this at Newbury Comics or I got it at Barnes & Noble, and I just, honestly, I didn't really know much about the series. I thought the concept, like just prison school, sounded pretty interesting. It's one of those manga that like is wrapped up in bookstores for a reason, but this was one of the first couple trips I made like in store to purchase manga, so I decided to get the first volume and kind of see what it was about. Obviously, I realized on the back that there was definitely going to be some fan service in it. I don't know, I just thought it seemed kind of interesting. Now, yes, there is a lot of fan service in this manga. I'm also not a huge fan of fan service. I like stories and just basically everything else to do with manga more than that, and that's just me personally. But I will say, this is still in my collection because it's actually a lot better than I thought it was going to be once I started like reading it. The artwork in this book is way better than it deserves to be. It's really good artwork. Like the characters and the environment and everything is just drawn really well. And I feel like that's not something that's typically common for fan service heavy manga. Obviously some detail is, but just like all the detail in general for the manga, this kind of surprised me. Also, the story is pretty fun to follow. It's obviously very strange and not for everyone, but I'm gonna use a term that I've heard other people use for it. The story doesn't take itself too serious, which is really key for this. If the manga tried to be too serious, it just wouldn't go well. Or if it wasn't serious enough, I guess, also it wouldn't go well. It would just be straight fan service. But this is actually a pretty interesting topic that the manga revolves around. So basically, without getting into spoilers, there's this academy which is always been like exclusively for girls, and it decided to start letting in boys, but kind of in segments. So the first 5 students arrived, and they're a group of 5 guys, and they didn't really understand what they were getting themselves into. The ratio is basically 1,000 girls and 5 guys. And then everything starts going well until they get in a lot of trouble doing something. Not going to talk about what it is, but they get in trouble doing something, and they're given the option of either live in the jail block within the school or be expelled. And obviously they went with the jail block situation because they didn't want to be expelled from school. And the story really just goes from there and just keeps kind of evolving through this first omnibus. Do I think this is something that I'm going to continue reading and continue picking up? Eventually, probably. But I'm not gonna lie, it's not something that really like piques my interest to keep buying, probably because of the price point. It's priced at $20 US, because I mean it is a much larger book than your average single volume manga. It's an omnibus and probably maybe even a little larger of an average omnibus. It's a yen press edition. It's the Yen Press Publishing, and I do hear that the rest of the volumes are very good, but I don't know, there's just so many other manga that I really just want to work on getting that this really, to be honest, isn't a top priority. But I did enjoy this first volume. I don't think it's for everyone, but also, like, if you really dislike or hate fan service, this could still end up being something you enjoy, because like I said, the artwork is really good, just in general artwork, and the story is also pretty good. The story itself definitely keeps your attention and kind of keeps you going throughout the volume, and it kind of adds some like twists and stuff to it. But this is basically just my first impression of the series. I hear good things about the rest of the volumes, but honestly it didn't capture me quite enough to like continue it right away. Eventually I'll probably pick up some more, probably try to get it in bulk so I can get it for cheaper. But that's pretty much it for this first impression. So leave down in the comments what you guys thought of this if you've read it. I mean, personally, I would recommend you get the first volume of this. I wouldn't buy in bulk before you read the first volume, just in case it's not something you'd like. But for something that's not too typical for my manga collection, I do think it was worth it getting this first volume and just getting a introduction into this series. So yeah, I would love to hear what you guys think. For the people who do like fan service, I think you'll love this series, because not only do you get some fan service, or a decent amount of fan service, but you also get, like I keep saying, good artwork and good story, at least in my opinion. So that's been it for this first impression. I will catch you guys later.